y'all, welcome back to Krista's Kitchen. So I have a quick video for y'all on some pesto pull-apart bread. We're going to attempt to make that Christmas tree shape again that I did with the Nutella Christmas tree, just because Christmas is coming up, so why not make everything look pretty. But the main goal is we're going to make some pesto pull-apart bread to go with our tomato soup. So the first thing we need is some puff pastry. Now, you can also use pizza dough if you like, but I've been on this puff pastry kick. And this is one that, it's the same brand as the pizza dough that I get, but I just figured we'd try something different than, I think it's the Pillsbury box that I've been using for puff pastry, just to see how they compare. But one cool thing about this one is it comes in its own little wax paper that it's wrapped up in that you can bake right on top of as well. But what I want to do is unroll this and see if I flip over half of it, if it will be big enough to make that Christmas tree shape. So the first thing I'm going to do is put it on our Silpat mat and see. I want to see about how big it would be if we just fold it over this way, so I can kind of get my bearings on where I need to put my filling to. So there's my little crease line. Let me know I don't want to fill past this little square. And all I did was fold it in half so I can see once I flip it over on top, that'll work. If y'all saw the Nutella one, I struggled a lot to get that triangle spaced right on top of it. Now we will lose some of the size with it, but I can make some little twist or something over to the edge. It'll be a much smaller Christmas tree because we're using just one puff pastry. We could also have a second and just make a huge Christmas tree and then stack it again on top. But I'm hoping this process will be a little bit more streamlined and unique. But first thing we're going to do is we have our puff pastry measured out. We're going to add some pesto. And we really like pesto. So I'm going to spread it out. And if there's any ingredient in here that you don't have, you can almost always substitute something else. So the pesto really is your base flavoring here. So if you wanted to change this to a different flavor profile, you could, but with leaving out the pesto, you're not going to get this same flavoring. So just try and match up whatever flavor profile you're going for. Get a nice little layer all across here. I love these huge pine nuts that are in it. I always like whenever I get a little chunk of the pine nuts. I would make my own pesto, but one, pine nuts are so expensive, and two, the jarred pestos that we get, I like the flavor. This is the Sam's Club version, and we get the little, the small one. I don't remember the brand. I would recognize the jar if I saw it, but I don't remember the brand. Both of those have been really good pestos for us. And my kids love the pesto. They'll say, like, I want noodles with the green sauce. And this is what they mean, like noodles with pesto. So just a few tablespoons that we spread out. Now this step you can, if you don't have ricotta, then you can just omit it. But I think that it adds a nice extra cheesiness. So I am just cutting some little pieces in the top, just so whenever I spoon it out, it's going to spoon into some chunks. But this will kind of melt in there and add a super cheesy layer. Again, I love ricotta, especially if you do like some blueberry and ricotta or lemon and ricotta pancakes. They just make your pancakes so soft and fluffy. One of my favorite pizzas is a pesto and ricotta pizza. It just makes it, again, so cheesy, so creamy. To me, it's a necessity, but I know to some others they might not be as big of ricotta fans. Now, if you like cottage cheese, you could use that right here as well. I don't like cottage cheese, and but you'll get kind of the same concept with it. And then I'm going to grate up some mozzarella on top to give it that extra cheesy pull-apart texture. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but I'm just grating it right on top. Save myself from having to mess up another dirty dish. I'm going to grate some over here to put on the edges. And it didn't take much at all. Now we might do a little bit more. I also have the oven preheating to 400. Just go by your package directions. So what does this say for the puff pastry? It says 400 to 425. Now if you get a pizza dough instead of a puff pastry, again, just follow your package directions. That way it gets cooked all the way through. Now if you had some cherry or grape tomatoes, that would look so pretty on this also, especially right after it comes out of the oven, to have that cherry red kind of act like your ornaments. That would be pretty. So spread our cheese out. I went from just a little bit of cheese to a whole lot of cheese. There we go. So we've got it all on. Now we're just going to fold this over. Pull our wrap. Let's see if I can kind of seal these edges just a little. I don't want to seal them too much, because now we're going to make our shape and we'll have new seals. But you can kind of make this a fatter tree. Now remember I said we're not going to throw away, gotta cut that one a little bit. We're not going to throw away these edge pieces. We're going to use those and just roll them up. And we could even have little trees. Save that pineapple. No. We have a little baby tree there. And spray our pan so we can lay these baby trees on it. So with this little dough, I'm just going to roll it up like this, almost like a little crescent roll, so we don't waste any pieces. And then we'll do the same for this. And just make like a little pinwheel with this one. And a little pinwheel with this one. Pick up that extra cheese. Alright, and for this one, we're going to make another little Christmas tree. And we'll make a pinwheel with this leftover edge. So we're just kind of winging it for this to see what we've got. But these two smaller Christmas trees, I'm going to make some little slices. Well, for those, let's see, if we just bake those up just like that, let's just bake them like that to be two just Christmas trees just like that. And we'll only twist these. So what we want to do is go in and make some slices about 1 knuckle thick to This is going to be our twist in our pull apart section. Now don't cut all the way through the center. We want to leave that space so that we have the trunk of our tree. I'm going to turn it around, and I want to go straight across from it over here to the side to get all of my branches lined up. Now I know a tree's branches aren't all lined up, but aesthetically it looks better. So what we're going to do is pick up our tree trunks, and we're just going to twist and lay it back down. And we're going to go through each one. Okay, y'all. So I know last time what we did is we went over it with an egg yolk and brushed it to give it that bronze color. So I'm going to show y'all a different, not bronze, like golden brown kind of color. I'm going to show y'all a different thing. So you can even take just some cooking oil and spray and kind of get that same golden brown on it. Just something to kind of bring it even more to life, give it a little bit more color. So I'm going to spray those and our little end pieces. Now I did grab some Italian seasoning to sprinkle over also, and again give it some extra color to our little baby trees. And I want to see how these puff up. Now they'll most likely be like the little puff pastry cakes we see. And I did notice that the more filling you put in, the harder it is for them to twist and hold their shape. But there's our wax paper going down, and because it is oven safe, it can go right on the pan. So we're going to put this in the oven. Let's see about how long this package says to cook in. It says for about 30 to 35 minutes for pastries and strudels. So about the 15-20 minute mark, I'll probably take a look and see how it's cooking through. We don't want it to be doughy, but we do want to make sure we catch it before any burning happens. So I'll let y'all know about how long it took or how long it takes, but about 15-20 minutes we're going to check in and see where we're at. So see y'all back soon. Hey y'all, so our pesto Christmas tree is all finished. It took only 20 minutes. So again, pay attention to your oven and just check in on your stuff as it goes. I'm just pairing this with a quick lunch. We've got some Sam's Club tomato basil soup that we really like. Just heated it up on the stove top, and a very simple but yummy lunch comes together very quickly. So these are our little pinwheels that we made from the edges, and they're nice and crispy. Now it does seem like they got a little bit more done than the bigger pieces, which makes sense. These I just think are super cute. That's our little edge pieces, and then this is our Christmas tree, the pull apart. So it's going to be much softer but still super flaky. And let's see how it's going. So you see, you can pull it and see all the layers of yumminess. I'm going to dip it in some of our soup and see how it tastes. Oh, that's good. So this is much softer, whereas this is going to be much crisper and flakier. But we've got the edge of this is still super flaky. And I think the tomato soup is just a perfect pairing. Hopefully you'll give it a try. Jazz it up with a few extra pine nuts or tomatoes or something on it. And bring it to your next festivity, or just have it like us as just a pretty for your simple lunch. Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.